Hey everybody, it's your boy Joe, the Wealth Architect. Sitting outside, beautiful fall day. Couldn't resist coming out and just taking it easy. Today I want to talk about the lies you believe about investing. The lies you believe about investing and the reasons why you haven't got started, right? And I want to focus on 5, right? There may be others, but and I'm sure there are others, but I want to focus on 5, right? And I want you to identify the one or ones that apply to you and really begin to rethink the reasons why you don't invest, right? Why you haven't got it started. So the first one is that you don't have enough money, right? And that is a lie, because even if you're struggling, all of us have at different times in our lives discretionary money, right? We have $5, we have $10. Investing at the end of the day is not a number, it's a habit, right? It's an action, right? So it's not whether or not you have $500, $1,000, or whatever case might be. It's about getting started. So again, when you say to yourself, you don't have enough money, just think about money that, think about money that you, from time to time, spend emotionally on clothes, on food, on Uber and Lyft and things like that, right? Impulse purchases, right? So it's not that you don't have the money to invest, right? And because you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot, right? So again, it's not that you don't have the money. So I want you to really begin to rethink the notion that you haven't gotten started because you don't have enough money. In your mind, maybe you think you need $500, $1,000, or whatever case might be. No, you just need to get started, right? Start with $50, right? Start with $100. Any amount that you can afford, because you can get fractional shares. You don't have to own full shares. You can get fractional shares and begin investing today, right? Or tomorrow. The market opens tomorrow, but you can get invested within a day or so, right? We're not talking next week, next month. We don't have to wait for a New Year's resolution or anything like that. Let's get started today. The second reason many people give for not getting started with investing is that it's too risky. It's too risky. Now, I will admit that there is risk involved. And I don't mean like, if you invest today, you're going to lose all your money tomorrow. It's just risk because the prices of stock and the market itself goes up and down. It fluctuates. Same thing like real estate. Same thing like rent, right? We don't see that as a risk. I live in New York City. If you don't have a rent stabilized apartment, then technically you are at risk of not necessarily being homeless, but your rent rate going up and you're not being able to afford it. It's just a fact of life. So there's risk inherent in a lot of things in life. So let's not use the excuse that it's too risky to invest, and that's why I don't invest, right? Because the truth is, as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, for people like myself who have done a considerable amount of time, we're talking 10, 15, 20 or more years in prison, the risk is in not investing, right? Because we can't make up for the lost time of incarceration, right? So all the compound interest that we could have earned over the years, we don't have them, right? So the real risk is not investing, because as time goes by, prices go up. Prices of everything goes up. Some things go up higher than others, right? But at the end of the day, we have inflation. Prices go up. And if you just getting a raise, let's say with a job, or God forbid, if you're on fixed income, you won't be able to keep up with inflation, with the rising increase in prices. The way to do it, the way to keep up with and exceed the rate at which prices rise is to invest, to put your money to work, right? So again, it's a lie to say I don't invest because it's too risky. The real risk is not investing, right? And that's important. Another piece is that you don't know enough about investing. Now that may be true, right? This video may be the first video you've watched, hypothetically, right? I imagine you've watched others about investing, but whether you have or not, just think about when you first went into prison, for example, right? First step foot in prison, you didn't know, and even long before you got there, in the county jail or in the feds or whatever the case might be, you didn't know much about prison, right? Even if you heard stories, you hadn't experienced it, right? But you figured it out. One day at a time, you figured it out, right? The same, and I know that's pretty extreme, but my point is that we don't want to use the excuse that you don't know enough about investing as a reason for not investing. You could always learn, right? You can watch this video, watch my other videos, watch other people's videos, right? You can take a personal finance class online. You can go to the library. You can read books online. You can audio books. There's a plethora. There's a plethora of information out there about investing. Now, granted, you want to pace yourself because you don't want to take on too much. It can seem overwhelming, right? So that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that you take baby steps and you begin to get educated. You take action. You can do that today, right? You don't have to wait till the market opens or anything like that. I'm not saying you need to invest right now. What I'm saying is you can pick up a book today, right? Or you can go online today and watch videos, right? Or just put personal finance and see what comes up. There's going to be probably millions of things on Google. You can, if you use ChatGPT, you can ask questions of ChatGPT or any of the other chat boxes, right? Claude, Gemini, or any of those, and ask questions. Have a conversation, ongoing conversation with questions you have about saving and investing and stocks and bonds and things like that, right? So don't let the notion of you don't know enough about it be a reason to stop you. That's my point. Another reason is that people sometimes use is, well, I have a lot of debt, right? I have student loan debt, I have credit card debt, and debt is real, right? So if that's your situation, I definitely understand it. And people will say, well, the reason why I don't invest is because I need to get out of debt first. And to be honest, I usually agree with that sentiment, right? For the most part, I do agree with that sentiment. But I do think that while you are paying off debt, assuming that you are, right, in the best way that you can, while you are paying off debt, you can still get started investing, right? Meaning that rather than put it off, invest $25, invest $50, right? And in my other videos, I talk about how you might want to get started with, an S&P 500 index fund. Start there. If you want to start with individual stocks like Nvidia and Facebook and Google and Netflix, things like that, it's up to you. It depends on your risk tolerance, but get started. I would say start with an index fund so that you spread your risk, right? And by investing $50, let's say through Fidelity or a platform like that allows you to purchase fractional shares that you can get started right away, right? So don't put it off by saying, well, I have debt and that's the reason why I don't invest. Because let's be honest, some of us, may not be you, but some of us are not paying off the debt, right? So if you're not paying off debt, right, meaning so the debt is accumulating, right? Interest is accruing, right? It's compounding, and you're not investing, so you don't have anything to counter, right, the increase in your debt, then you're just getting further and further in debt without, like I said, having anything to offset it. So I say get started today, within the next day or so, and invest $25, invest $50. And then the next thing would be, and you'll feel great afterwards. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did. And then you can begin to automate it so that every pay period or every time you get, some extra funds, that you can contribute to your future, basically, that your financial future and well-being. So you can have it so that every, let's say, pay period, right, $25, $50 is automatically withdrawn from your checking account and goes into your brokerage account. Get started, right? So don't use the idea or the notion of, I have debt to pay, so that's why I don't invest. And last but not least is that it's too late, right? I think that some people may say it to themselves, meaning out loud, like they just, feel like, well, I'm 45, I'm 50, I've lost all my good years in prison, so, it's too late to start. That's BS. That's just straight up BS. I'm gonna call it BS. It's not just a lie, it's BS. I did 25 years. I went in at 22, came out at 46, so I did 24 and a half, got 6 months credit. My sentence was 25 to life. And while I did get started investing in 1995, right, 1995, while incarcerated, I had to shut down my account, and I didn't restart until I came home. I've been home 9 years. I started investing about 7 years ago. I used the first 2 years to save up, right, to get things in order, with my life. And then in 2018, like I said, 7 years ago, I began investing heavily, right? I didn't play any games, and I'm still not playing any games. So it's never too late. And I have amassed in those years 6 figures from my investments alone, and they continue to work for me. Just last week, or the week before that, in total, I earned about $7,000. $7,000 without me having to work for it. So it's never too late, right? Again, get started. Don't use any of these excuses to prevent you from having and experiencing the life that you want and deserve for you and your loved ones, right? So, and I mean that with all my heart. Get started. Don't waste another day. Don't waste any time. Start reading about this stuff. Start listening, if you do audio books. Go to free seminars, workshops, or whatever case might be. But dip your toe in the water, as they say. Get started, right? Don't waste any time. You will be glad that you got started. I promise you. So with that, I say, let's get this money.